Would you rather get 100 leads per month but only answer the phone 50% of the time, or get 25 leads per month but answer every single call? Would you rather have a fully booked calendar but low profit margins, or have fewer clients but double the profit margins? Would you rather only be allowed to use Google ads or only be allowed to use Facebook ads?
Hey guys, welcome into another episode of the Top Dog Mindset Podcast. Kevin and Angel here. And today we have an interesting episode for you where we're going to be doing kind of a this or that type of structure here. So I think we got some interesting questions lined up here. So, Angel, without further ado, why don't you take us through the first question and then we can start kind of giving our feedback from there.
Yeah, so the first one, I actually love this one because this talks about answering the phone. So, would you rather get 100 leads per month but only answer the phone 50% of the time, or get 25 leads per month but answer every single call, like the first time that it comes in?
I want to hear your thoughts on this before I give mine. What are your thoughts on this?
Um, I mean, I can kind of see it from both perspectives, but I am going to go with getting 25 leads per month, but answer every call.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is there's a couple different reasons for that. Number one, answering 25 calls a month should be pretty easy.
Hmm.
Number one. Number two, if I had another person on my team that helped out with like phone answering, admin kind of stuff, I think that makes it even easier with just making sure all calls are answered. I think that is going to be, I mean, it's going to be helpful. I mean, if we're talking in terms of like running Google ads, answering your phone is very, very important for your account, and whether you answer it or not can make a very big impact on the performance of your account. And so I'd rather get lower leads knowing that I can answer every single one versus only answering 50% of the time, because inevitably that's going to impact my account and it may not be 100 leads per month forever. Eventually that could start dwindling down a little bit. So I would rather do that. And answering the phone on the first time and being able to have a conversation with someone the first time that they call, especially if they're in, an emotional state of like needing help and just needing to talk to someone, that just sets a really good first impression on you and your business.
Definitely. Yeah. And you just made me think of a conversation I had yesterday with one of our clients, Bethany, and she was talking about, oh, we just had to sign up just now or earlier. And she was like, yeah, they actually called earlier today. And then Sid, who's her husband, invited them in for a consultation. And then they closed later that day. And I just feel like that's kind of what you're talking about, right? Which is just like speed to lead and getting somebody
Hmm.
on the call, not having to like call them back and, start off on the wrong foot of even missing the call, because that stuff does matter, right? Like people like to
Yep.
feel like I called this business, they answered, it was great customer service, and they sign up with them. It's just such a seamless process. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of that. That's a really good point about the whole answering your phone and, Google rewarding those who do a better job and answer a higher percentage of their calls. And yeah, I mean, we're obviously kind of speculating here a little bit into like what is going on in this business, but just going off of like what my experience has been like managing hundreds of ads accounts. I think if you're getting 100 leads, that's also going to cost you way more money than getting 25 leads in a month. It's 25%. And so say you need to spend, I don't know, let's use simple numbers, $4,000 and to get 100 leads, probably wouldn't need to spend that much money. But the point is, if that was the case and you only wanted 25 leads, then you would only need to spend $1,000. Right. And
Hmm.
so the point is like you're getting more out of your leads. You're giving them a more premium service because you're actually answering when they call. And then you're saving money on your cost per acquisition, which is how much money you need to pay into ads to actually get a client. And so I think all around, if you can get more for less, that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So going into number two, would you rather lose your website or lose your social media?
Ooh, that's a good one. We really at Top Dog Advertising, like ironically, do not do that much acquisition through our website. Like we get some forms, and I know it moves some people because we have like testimonials on there and it ranks well. So like people will, can Google us and then look up social media. But I would say 99% of our acquisition is currently done and has been done through social media. So I'd have to say ditch the website.
Yeah, I feel like this is just completely dependent on what your website looks like and like if you acquire clients through it versus if you do through social media or if you're even active on social media. Like some people have
Yeah.
social media for their business, but they post like maybe once a month and,
Yeah.
log in maybe twice a month. So I guess
Yeah.
it just depends. In this day and age, like everyone is on social media and a lot of the time people even use social media as like a form of Google if they're looking for a service. So both could come in really handy. So yeah, I think it's just dependent on like the quality of each of them.
Yeah, I would say exactly what you just said on the reverse side of the coin for most of our clients that they would ditch social media and go all in on their website because like landing pages, website, it's all kind of like interconnected anyway. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, most of our clients I would say do not do any or much at all like acquisition through their social media channels and this all comes down to like the nature of the beast with the business. Like there's not that much search volume for dog trainer marketing agency on Google, and so that's just why
Mhm.
like if I could get more traffic that way that would be awesome, but there's 10 searches a month for that, probably 50 searches a month across the country, whereas the average dog training business there's anywhere between 500 to 1,000 searches a month for one keyword like dog training near me in their immediate city. And so that's
Yeah.
why like you can capitalize on that, you know. Local
Yep.
service-based businesses in general, plumbers, electricians, dog trainers, all these companies have such a massive opportunity with Google. Like I think a lot of people don't understand that, which is like there are businesses out there where there isn't search volume available to you where you can't just run ads and have all these people with like extreme amounts of intent coming to you. There's other models where it's like you need to scrape lists and then just like cold call people. And that's the only way that you can get business or cold DM people or just, yeah, make cold introductions. And so to me, like, I think that's something that a lot of people may not even recognize that there's this massive opportunity in their business where they don't need to, you know, become a social media influencer. There's so many people we work with that are doing 10K a month and they get all their business through the landing pages we're running with for them 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. I mean, we have people we literally work with that are making 60 to 100 grand a month and they post one time a year on their social media
Hmm.
and have websites that look like they were built by 2 year olds, you know?
Yeah.
So like there is no prerequisite there that like in order to succeed that you need to have any of this other stuff in place. It's good, of course, but yeah, I think for most dog trainers, website, Google, that combo is going to be the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Next, would you rather never run ads again or never get referrals again?
Oh man, that's brutal.
This is a tough one.
So it all depends on your how much acquisition you're doing through each channel. Like you would need this. I hope this
Hmm.
doesn't sound like a cop out answer, but if you're using ads to supplement right now, like you get 10 new clients a month and eight of them come through referrals and two of them come from ads, then obviously then I would be trying to push more of the ad stuff and just or push more of the referral stuff. And if you're getting that many referrals, like there are so many different people out there seemingly that are like raving fans of your business and there's different ways to put referral programs in place and have like strategic partnerships. There's lots of businesses that exist like this where they don't run any ads, but they still have a cost per acquisition because they pay money out to their referral partners to get business. And so I
Yeah.
think that if you could do that, you know, it's just a different way to get traffic into the business.
Yeah, this is another one of those where I think it like is just dependent on each business, but in a perfect world, I would say never run ads again
Mhm.
because overall referrals are going to be cheaper. Even with having like referral programs in place, I think
Yeah.
it is going to be cheaper. I think it's going to help with getting more reviews,
Mhm.
good reputation overall. So, yeah, in a perfect world, I would say never run ads again, even
Yeah.
though that's what we strongly advise people to do.
Yeah, coming from somebody who like, you know, is working for a digital marketing agency. But yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. Like lower cost per acquisition, lead quality tends to be way better, sales cycle tends to be way shorter. So there's all these advantages to getting referrals in, you know? And I think
Yeah.
it just again speaks to like how good of a job you're doing at that point in your business. If there's people who are going out there and feeling like they need to tell all these other people about you and the experience they had working with your company.
Yeah. All right. Next, would you rather have a fully booked calendar but low profit margins or have fewer clients but double the profit margins?
I gotta go number 2, you know? More free
Same.
time, more money. Yeah, hard to argue that, you know?
Yeah. Now, depending on like where you're at in your business now, it could take more work getting to that. second one, having fewer clients but double the profit margins, but the payoff is going to be so much better. So, like, what I mean by that is just intentionally taking the time to get better at your sales process, like literally every part, like answering the phone, having good
Mhm.
conversations with people, making sure consultations are being set, like working through objections and all of that, versus like maybe just sticking to only selling on the phone and you always find yourself selling lower ticketed programs because those are easier to sell on the phone, maybe, or it's just easier selling those versus working through those harder objections in a consultation. So again, just depending on like where someone might be at right now, it might take a little bit of work getting there, but that's just, part of being a business owner and I think going to be like really helpful payoff in the end.
Mm, for sure.
Would you rather be amazing at dog training but terrible at sales, or be amazing at sales but average at dog training?
Depends on how you define average at dog training. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think there's advantages to both. I think by being amazing at dog training and delivering just these like incredible results to your clients, then that's going to breed more referrals, better customer experience. Now, this is an interesting conversation though. I feel like most people would probably benefit from like shifting their mindset into being more focused on being a good salesperson or learning more about sales and marketing and stuff like that. I just did a video on YouTube. Go check that out if you guys didn't see that already. All about like certifications because I know that like that can be something that a lot of people get hung up on. Like I don't have all these certifications that other people do. How can I compete? And basically, the gist of that video is that we've worked with people who you would know their name if I were to say it, and they're bigger in the dog training world, and they really struggle. They really struggle to make sales and grow a business because they think that the most important things are the accolades and the letters after their name, the doctorate and the degrees and certifications and stuff like that. And the ironic thing is like that means a lot to you and your peers, but it effectively means nothing to 99.999% repeating of dog owners in your market. Like they don't
Yeah.
know what any of these schools are. Dog trainers that you know that are like big time people and big in the dog world, they mean everything to you. They mean nothing to the average dog owner. And so I guess why I'm saying this is because most dog owners or dog trainers don't struggle to grow a business because they're not good enough at dog training. Most dog trainers struggle because they don't have a good marketing system and a good sales process and just a good client acquisition system overall. And this is
Mhm.
exactly why we focus on client acquisition as a whole as a company. Like that's something that is really important to me that I really kind of like tell all of our prospects and our leads now. It's like if you come to work with us, this isn't just going to be a marketing agency where like we get you leads and say like see you later, go do your thing. We focus and really pride ourselves on like beginning to end client acquisition and helping people when it comes to raising their prices and really scaling a profitable dog training company. And so I know I've kind of gotten off course here, but the main thing I think really what I'm trying to get at is in order to be a really successful dog training business owner, there are a lot of other skills that you need to learn. And it's not just about always hyper focusing on becoming a better dog trainer. It's an important thing to do, don't get me wrong, but I don't think what we're talking about here is being like a mediocre to bad dog trainer. We're talking about people who like can train dogs but just aren't like world class yet. And,
Mhm.
would you rather be in that category or be world class and struggle to get clients? I know for myself, like there's bills to be paid. There's diapers to be bought, like I feel like I need to be able to run a business. And most people are good enough at running or training dogs. Their problem is not training dogs. It's running a profitable business.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I would also choose being amazing at sales but average at dog training.
Yeah.
Because also, like, what do people consider being average at dog training? I think that is going
Hmm.
to be different person to person. Also, for all of our clients, at least, like, if they get in a lead and it's, let's say they do a consultation to evaluate the dog's behavior and they know it's something that they're not comfortable with, they're not going to end up taking it. So,
Yeah.
I don't think of this as being average at dog training in the sense that like you're going to give good product, but I think, like you said, most dog owners, like, all they care about is being able to get help with the issue that they're dealing with. Now, in the dog
Yep.
training world, there might be 100 different ways to fix a certain behavior.
Mhm.
one trainer might think another trainer's method of fixing that behavior is shit, while the other one is like, wow, that was amazing. You're like the best dog trainer I've ever come across. So it's just dependent on what people see as an average dog trainer. But yeah, if you're not good at sales and you're not making sales, then you're not making sales, and that's not really running a business. So I think being good at sales and just helping people with their problems is the most important thing.
Exactly. And just to put one final point on that, like as I always say, if you want to be just focusing on becoming the best dog trainer you can, you're becoming the best dog trainer you can. You're probably better off going to get a job as a dog trainer at another company if that's what you want to focus on, because
Yeah.
growing a business really requires you to do, focus on multiple things at once, not just the one thing.
Yeah. All right. Next, would you rather have 10 board and trains every month or have 50 private lesson clients every month?
You're gonna have to handle this one.
Honestly, holy shit to both, because when I was still actively training, I was taking on, as far as board and trains, like I would say maybe 4 at a time. And that was like where I was capped out.
Mhm.
And that's by myself. Obviously, this could be different if you like have a whole team and you're like distributing these clients to different trainers. But for one person, this is a hard one because I can't imagine having 50 private lesson clients a month either.
That's an insane amount, you know? Let's do some math on this. Hold on, now I'm curious, you know? Oh, okay, are we making the assumption that this person's working 7 days a week as well? You kinda have to, I would think, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise you're having to do, on average, 10 private lessons a day, right? If you were doing just 5 days a week,
Hmm.
right? So 50 divided by 7, yeah, it's like a little bit more than 7 clients a day. I'm also making the assumption I'm immediately where my mind goes because for most people they're driving to the home to do that. So I don't even know if that's possible. I'm going to be honest because you're talking about 7 to 8 clients a day. Let's just call it 7 because it's 7.14. You're talking about minimum spending an hour at that person's home for the lesson, right? There's going to be some like talking before and after. Yeah, I mean drive time if you really have it dialed in is like a half hour. You know what I mean? Between lessons, it seems like you'd just be working so many hours in a day. You'd be doing like 11, 12 hours a day, I feel like.
Honestly, I feel like both of these, this is probably a question more suitable for like a trainer that has a team, because
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
even at 10 board and trains a month, having to answer the phone, make it to consultations, all that kind of stuff. As far as our clients go, everyone has at least someone to help answer the phone if they're taking in that many dogs.
Well, here's another thing to consider. So, if you're talking about 50 clients in a month, and if you had 50 new signups a month, right? And your average program, let's just even be conservative and say it sells for 1200, that's 60 grand in a month. Whereas 10 board and trains is $4,000 on average if we're just doing a 4 week, right? You're talking
Hmm.
about 40 grand. So this would be more profitable. So I don't think there's a direct equivalency, or I shouldn't say more profitable. It would generate more gross revenue 50 private lessons compared to 10 board and trains. But
Hmm.
there's also the overhead, yeah, of like, especially if you're going to people's homes, like paying multiple people to go do that. I think if we're talking about like apples to apples here and it would generate the same amount of revenue, I think that there is I would prefer to run the business where I would like, if everything could be done the way I would want it to, my recommendation for this business owner would be like, say you're operating at your house, you have a separate building where like you can keep the kennels in, right?
Hmm.
That's like insulated, cool, air conditioning and heating, plumbing, electrical work, all that stuff, right? And you can pay people hourly to come over, and there's way less logistics. They come over, you have a kennel tech, maybe another trainer that can help out. I just think like shuffling people around to try and do that many private lessons is kind of insane. And then also, even if you do have a facility that people come into, there is an extra layer of added difficulty to find dog trainers who can do private lessons. Like we've seen this with many of our clients because you can find people who are really good dog trainers, but maybe a little bit like rough around the edges and admittedly don't like working with people, but they can do board
Hmm.
and trains because like you can be the front man or woman, right? Where you communicate with the clients, do the transfer sessions and stuff like that. And you can kind of hide somebody like that behind the scenes. You can't really do that with private lessons. And so to
Yeah.
me, I think There's pros and cons to both. I would probably say the board and train model.
Same. Assuming it's like the perfect situation where you can have trainers like come in and help
Mhm.
train or a trainer.
Yes.
Would you rather only be allowed to use Google ads or only be allowed to use Facebook ads?
Google.
Yeah.
Well, for our business, like for Top Dog Advertising, again, it would be Meta, social media in general. But yeah, I would say for every single dog training business out there, it's Google unequivocally.
Mhm. All
Well,
right.
hold on. Let me add a caveat to that real quick. There are markets where like it is so expensive that if you don't really know what you're doing, then it would be easier to get up and running and be competitive and have a way better cost per acquisition. But I would say still most times it's gonna be Google.
Mhm. This next one, it's kind of a no-brainer, but I'm gonna ask it anyways because I feel like this ties into one of the questions that we were talking about earlier. So, would you rather get 100 leads that never buy or get 10 leads that all buy?
Next question, Angelica. Why would
Reas
I want someone who doesn't buy?
Reason why I ask this is because I feel like it ties into what was the other one that we talked about? Maybe it was the being amazing at sales but average at dog training. Basically, what I was thinking of is like with I feel like most people think they need more leads or they're like I want to work towards being able to spend more to get more leads when in reality they're all already getting like a really good amount of leads. But I feel like in a lot of cases people think like I need more leads, I need more leads because I haven't been making as many sales without realizing like they're not taking full advantage of what they're getting in so far.
Yeah.
And
You are
like
absolutely buns at sales if you get 100 leads and nobody closes. Let's
yeah.
just start there, you know?
Yeah.
That's like you'd have to try to do that, you know?
Yeah. Now, if you were to get in 10 leads in a month, that sounds terrible. But if you think about it, like if you're really good at sales, then you could have had a freaking amazing month.
Yeah, you have to if you're getting 100 Google Ads leads and people are saying, "I have a dog that needs to be trained," and you don't close any of those people, give us a call
Yeah.
because, like, we can help you. Like, I won't even charge you. I'll just tell you, like, "Here's what you're doing wrong."
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that's a massive sales process issue, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I think to answer the
So,
question, like, I'd rather get 10 leads that close, you know?
yeah, obviously, that was a dumbass question. Who wants to get in literally any amount of leads that doesn't buy? But I feel like it was worth talking about sales. Would you rather work 80 hours a week and make 500K or would you rather work 30 hours a week and make 200K?
I don't think yeah, I think I'd take the time to have the free time.
Same.
Yeah, I there's too much to sacrifice in life, you know, like
Mhm.
especially like being a parent and stuff like that. It's there's no extra reward at the end of life. I've found, you know, to be like an absolute hardo who's like I worked 80 hours a week. You know, I think there's all this
Yeah.
like hustle culture out there. I used to work in kitchens. And the culinary world is very much so like that, where an 80-hour week is very, very normal
Mhm.
and I think there's a lot of people out there who, again, I'm not saying this to sound like a tough guy or something like that, but like it's the reason I got out of it is because I legitimately did 80-hour weeks, not like on and off throughout the day. And hey, I worked, 10 hours or 12 hours or 14 hours today, but I was like sitting down it's like when you're really working 80 hours a week, 7 days, a week, it's brutal. And like you do
Mhm.
nothing, it feels like you do nothing else with your time other than work and sleep, wake up, work, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And that was the reason one of the many reasons I changed careers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not a life to me that I want to live.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay, let's wrap up with one more question. And this one is for you. Would
Hmm.
you rather start over with your business with no money but keep your knowledge? Or would you rather start over with K to start the business but lose your business knowledge?
No, no, I would definitely, the knowledge that you have in life is everything to you.
Hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
can always make more money. You can always start another business. Like this is the thing that I always say to all of our clients. When you learn how to sell, you learn how to market, you learn how to do client acquisition, you learn how to grow a business, manage a team. Sales is the biggest one. Like when you learn how to sell, you should never go without money again, you know? Like it
Yep.
really is like one of the best assets you can ever have in your entire life. And so to me, I don't mean to sound conceited or something like that, but I have a fair like level of confidence that if I needed to go and start a window cleaning company or a power washing company tomorrow, something that obviously wouldn't take me years to learn the trade or the skill, I could probably get a business up and running in a week and start getting clients. And so I think that the knowledge that you have, people can take anything else from you in life, but what other people can't take from you is, yeah, your experiences and the knowledge you have. And so I would definitely say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that covers it all.
That does it for today.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, listen, I hope you guys like this episode, and we always appreciate the support. So if you like this, we can try and do more episodes like this one. And yeah, as always, if you know a friend who's a dollar trainer that would benefit from this content, please share it. Everything should be posted now to, our Facebook group, Spotify, YouTube. And so tell a friend if you wouldn't mind. And we will see you guys all very soon in the next one. See you guys.
Bye, guys.